Everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Screaming Chuy Show. And I'd like to welcome special guest, actor, producer, Jason Brooks. How you doing, Jason?
Hey, good. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on here.
Yeah, and thank you for coming on, man. I'm excited.
Me too.
And you're also the owner of Real Fiction Studios as well, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yes, makeup and special effects company out here in the Northwest for film and TV and commercials and all that.
Man, and yeah, tell me about yourself, man. Let's get to know you.
All right. I guess going back, I've always been kind of an artist interested in movies. Um, Ever since I saw Star Wars as a kid, I saw that and I was blown away by it and loved the costumes, loved the effects, and then just kind of got into behind the scenes. Was always getting my hands on anything I could see back in the 80s, 90s, whatever. Blu-rays, DVDs came out, behind the scenes content. I'm always following that because I was so interested. And then finally I was able to sneak into some movies back in the late 90s. I was doing some graphic design for a couple of indie filmmakers, did their posters and artwork. Then I started getting to be on set, then starting to get put into the films, making props, costumes, getting to act, and it just kind of grew from there.
Man, I love it. And I always been that way as well. The behind the scenes, man, how they would film the stuff, do the props, a
Oh
lot
yeah,
of creative stuff going on behind the scenes.
absolutely. Yeah,
uh,
it's my favorite to figure out how they did things and make all this stuff, make it happen.
yeah, because especially back then when CGI wasn't as good, because now they could
Yeah,
make anything CGI,
it was terrible.
right, man. And I love your background, by the way. And
Thank you.
I love that you work with CJ Graham as well. I mean, he's an amazing guy. He's been on the show as well.
Oh yeah, I love him to death. He is super sweet, down to earth, genuine. Um, he's been a good mentor, and his wife Ruby as well. Very sweet people, and happy to call them friends and family. Got
Yeah,
to
man.
work a couple of times now. See him at conventions. The first time I went to a convention was New Jersey HorrorCon many years ago, and he called me up and he said, "Hey, I see that you're going to be signing autographs at your first horror convention. I just want to give you some tips and pointers, if you don't mind. Something I've learned over the last 25, 30 years that might be able to help you." And he talked to me for an hour telling me what kind of banners to do, what to put on my table, what works, what doesn't, what prices to do, all these things, and how to interact with people, what to expect. And it was just great. And just life advice too. He's really, really good at all that.
Yeah, man. And he's so humble. I'm like, dude, you were Jason. And he's
Yeah,
like,
he is. And he's funny. He's really funny. He likes practical jokes on set. He's always pranking people, pranked me several times. It's fun.
oh, I love that. Man. And you guys were worked on a movie together, right? On YouTube.
Two of them, yeah. Friday the 13th Vengeance and Friday the 13th Vengeance 2 Bloodlines. I play Jason Voorhees in those movies, and CJ Graham, who we all know played Jason in Part 6, he played Jason's father, Elias Voorhees. And in the original Part 6, written and directed by Tom McLaughlin, the ending was supposed to have Elias show up. And you can find the storyboards online if you Google Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives storyboards, ending, you'll see that it ends with a graveyard and the gravekeeper and Elias coming up and paying the gravekeeper and whatnot, having a conversation. So um, that never got done because the studios, they weren't sure they wanted to go in that direction for the next film. They didn't know if they want to introduce, so they're like, they scrapped that. So it just kind of went away. But then when Vengeance, when we made that one is a direct sequel to Part 6, 25 years later. And we decided, let's start Vengeance with the original ending for Part 6, and we got Tom McLaughlin, the writer director, to come out and play our gravekeeper, and he got to be there, witness the scene that he wrote 30 years ago, and be a part of that. So that was pretty special. And then, and who better to play Jason's father than the old school Jason himself, CJ Graham?
I love that you guys did that. It's like that was supposed to happen, you know?
Yeah, it all lined up. A lot of the Vengeance movies came to be that way. It was like just magic. It just kind of came to be.
And you did the practical the special effects as well?
For part two, for part one, there's a couple different effects artists in there who worked on that one. But in part two, Bloodlines, myself, my partner Naomi, and Michelle Muniz, we had a whole team of people working, kind of under the Real Fiction umbrella to make that happen.
Nice. Love the special effects.
Thank
Everything
you.
about it. Like you guys did an amazing job.
Thank you. Yeah, we I love doing it, and so I started making the props, the body parts, all the special effects while we were writing, the script. And as it was going on, I'd build something, or I'd want to build something and then write that into the story. And so I spent a good year before we even filmed creating all these things and coming up with these creative kills. And then once we got on set, we executed them and just kind of hope for the best, and just did what we wanted to see and what we wanted to do, something we thought would be fun. And then after it's been out, it's won 60 awards so far,
Wow.
in the festivals, and a lot of them for makeup and special effects. And so we're very honored and proud, that this little film we did has been getting that kind of attention, and the hard work that everyone put into those special effects and the camera work and everything is being recognized.
Yeah, because films it really shows the work that you put into it and the talent that you have. It's out there for everybody to see and judge, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot of judgment in the world. So when you hit send on there and you wait for it to go live, and it goes live and people start watching it, you always, no matter what you think of it yourself, there's always going to be people out there who don't want to like it out the gate, and there's a lot of judgment. And so you're expecting that, you're waiting for it. And we were really pleasantly surprised how well it was received by just about everyone. And you got a couple of those trolls once in a while who come in there, mask, hot garbage, or whatever, because it's not for everyone. And even with the original franchise, you've got 12 films out there,
Mhm.
and everyone has their favorite. Some people hate 5, some people hate X, some people hate Freddy versus Jason, and other people love it to death. So there's a Friday for everyone out there. And same with this, some people are going to like it, some won't, some just don't want to because everyone else does. So it's but yeah, overall very positively received. It's blowing people away. People have been real excited. People who loved the first one absolutely really love this one. People who didn't care for the first one love this one, the second one. So we learned a lot from the first, put that into the second, and just had fun with it, and did something we all wanted to see.
Yeah, man, and I'm looking forward to see a lot more, stuff like that. It's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we've got ever since then we've been brought on to several other movies that we're working on now, not Friday the 13th ones, but several other ones. And a lot of it is because of the special effects and the things that we did in that movie. And it's been amped up. So part two, Bloodlines, a lot of gore, a lot of horror and gore in there, and blood. But we've been taking it up a notch on each upcoming film, because they're like, we got to go more. We got to go more, and make it bigger and grosser and better. So we have some really fun projects that are coming out in the next year or so, that have been filmed or are being filmed now, that we're excited for people to see that as well. So it's growing.
Awesome, man. I'm excited. And which one was your favorite kill?
Oh, there's so many, and for different reasons. I mean, in Vengeance One, it's the Heather kill, where Jason Voorhees grabs her, throws her down the ground with a pickaxe, and smashes her head. That one was my favorite for that. For part two, it's, man, I have different ones for different reasons. The Richie Ramone kill is special to me. It catches everyone off guard, and it's very sad and emotional when it happens. But the kill where I rip the spine out and back and peel the girl in half, uh, after fighting her, she's trying to get away through the fence and everything. That one, I think, just because it was a pretty big one that we built, it took a little bit of time, several of us to pull it off, and it just looked fun, and it was fun to execute. So that one is a winner for us. But I
Oh,
could go on about, so there's like 36 kills in the movie,
oh
and so
wow, I didn't
there's
realize there was that many.
yeah, and so many of them are just unique and fun. It's really hard to ask me another day, it'll be a different kill.
Was there any of them that were really challenging for you guys?
um yeah, so Darcy DeMoss, her kill, she played Nikki in part 6, in the RV when Jason smashes her head in the mirror in the RV, flips over, catches fire. Well, she came back to reprise her role, with some scars on her face from that incident and everything, but she doesn't make it out this time, spoiler alert. So her kill was a little more challenging just because we had the way it was done where she's kind of strung up. We got the wires, we have her high, we got the body, gut spilling out. There's a lot to put together and choreograph. So that fight took quite a bit to lead up to that moment and to get everything to kind of pull together correctly. Um, that one was a bit difficult. And then the fire stunt, and killing the Paul Taylor, who plays Pinhead in Hellraiser Judgment, killing him, it getting all that cut together and good was a bit of a challenge, but we pulled it off.
You made it. You made it happen. You
Yeah,
got it.
you got to.
And um, did you go to school for this, or you just learn as you go and just
Yeah,
do?
I wish I was able to go to school for this. I mean, I still talk about it now. I mean, there's things, so many amazing professionals out there who know the craft, know what they're doing. I am taking like online courses, do the Stan Winston school of character arts and everything, doing all that, kind of running out of courses to take. But there's a few schools I would love to go to, and professionals I'd love to learn from. I worked with Mick Strawn for a good couple of years on the first Vengeance, and he was the production designer, art director for films like Nightmare on Elm Street 3 and 4, Blade, Leatherface, Fantastic Four, Mortal Kombat, a bunch of the old school 80s movies. And
Classics.
yeah, I worked hand in hand with him and learned so much from him. He's a wealth of knowledge and experience, um, and getting to work side by side with him was an honor and amazing to learn. Um, and there's times where I was able to do things that impressed him too. And he's like, "Oh, you remind me of a younger me." So that was really great. But that's the only real professional training I've had was with Mick. Otherwise, it's the online courses and everything that I can do. But I would love to go to one of the schools and learn more techniques and tricks and just pick brains, because everyone has that experience and they've learned from mistakes in the past, and it'd be so good to get all that.
That's impressive, man. Like, because I was just asking, man. Like, you guys do an amazing job, and like, I can't believe you didn't go to school for this. Like, it's
Thank
amazing.
you. Thank you. My partner Naomi, who does a lot of the beauty makeup and the special effects makeup and everything, they went to school down in Portland, at a makeup and special effects school. And so they've got a bit of training there. Um, and I've learned a bit from Naomi as well. But that's where the schooling is at right now, is just a little bit of that. And they're also taking the course with me, for Stan Winston. And we just do it. We get a lot of requests, like, a blow this body up, tear this one apart here, have this happen that way. And we just got to problem solve, figure it out. Like, how would we do that? How can we do it effectively and within budget? So lot of problem solving before you even start pouring silicone.
You ever have any trouble like making a special effect and then it looks different on camera, like the film?
There's sometimes, for the most part, they've all kind of come out as expected. There's been a couple times where uh, you work with the directors and the writers and everything, the DP, to say, how's this gonna be shot? And we have our recommendations, like we recommend doing this in 3 parts. You show the actor, you show this, a cutaway, blah blah. and we'll do this. What angle are you going to go at? And they tell us, but then you build it for that. But then maybe you get on set and the set does not allow for that angle or that distance or anything like that. So you got to come up with some creative ways to kind of enhance that. Or there's like an effect maybe doesn't work the way expected. For example, we were down in Hollywood. We had to fly down to Hollywood to go finish one of the movies we're working on, and we had this effect where somebody gets shot in the knees, and on the way down there, our blood, our extinguisher, our equipment was confiscated by TSA. Even though
Oh,
we took it to the airport, we opened it, we showed them what it was. They said, "Yeah, this is no problem." We showed up on set. The first it was lost, and then our executive producer had to run to the airport the day of filming, go pick it up once it finally arrived, bring it to us on set. We opened the box, and all of our blood's gone, the extinguisher's gone, all the effects, everything to cause the bursting blood is
oh,
gone. So we had to quickly run to the grocery store, send someone off to go send them the ingredients to make blood, get some other things, pull it together. And when we get there with our actor, who's well known, and we get the prosthetics on, we get everything set up, and now we have to kind of do it not the way we would plan, not the way we'd want. And it kind of failed a couple times because we had to make it up on the spot with the materials we had at hand, which were not optimal. And it took about 3 tries, and finally we were able to get something that was decent and passable, but it was definitely not at the level we wanted or the quality we wanted. And so we were a little bit, our hearts were broken as effects artists, like, we spent so much time with these prosthetics and the tubing and everything to get it done right, and did everything to get there right. But TSA kind of got in the way, and we had an hour to pull it together and come up with something else. But it was still, it's passable. It'll work, but we know it could have been better.
oh man. And that's a thing though. You gotta improvise, and it's kind of trial and error when you gotta make it up on the spot.
Yeah, absolutely. And just hope for the best. I mean, it's a simple trick that we've done in the past, but it doesn't have the same flair, as having the correct pressure and the correct blood mix and all that stuff. So it was disappointing, but we got through it. You got to think on your feet a lot, and there'll be times on set where they might change their mind. Like, oh yeah, the wardrobe is broken down here, or this got torn, we can't show below the feet, we got to show up here, or we can't show this arm. Don't get blood on the actor, because continuity, we only have one outfit, so we can't get. So you got to kind of think on your feet and rearrange, come up with new ways to do things, which is I love doing. I love that quick problem solving under pressure. How can we do this? How can we do that? And come up with a solution. And a lot of really good ideas are born from that, that end up in movies where it's like, no, that was a split-second decision. That was a quick change, and we had to do this, and it looks amazing. So, yeah.
You ever do that while you're writing? Like, you're writing the storyline, you do the kills, and you're like, wait, it would be better if the kill was this, when you go back and rewrite or anything like that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. All the time there's you write something and it's in your mind, it's all great. Sometimes you'll go back and reread it and you're like, wait, what was I thinking? Or that's not great. And or as you're building the prop for it, it's like, oh, if I do it this way, we can make it even better. We're working on a film right now called Disappointment Girls, and that happened. There was something that happened to one of the victims, and it was pretty cool. But then, in making the body, we had a full body cast and everything, and making the body for that, it had some defects in it because the budget didn't allow for the full proper process. So pulling it out of the molds and everything, there was a couple of defects. And so we offered a suggestion, like, well, what if this happens also? And then we could make it look even better, and really gore it up and make it gross. And they were like, well, okay, that sounds good. And so we did that. And now everyone's just like, it's our favorite thing now, because we kind of went back and enhanced it, not intending to, but just because maybe luck or maybe, circumstance, it led down that path of making something that was cool, really kind of over the top fantastic, and going to be very memorable.
Just came out way better than it was intended to be.
Yeah, so we're very excited. At first, we're like, okay, here's a body that is going to be there, and now it's going to be a lot more impact. And so, yeah, it came out way better.
Love it. And like for the blood, is there a certain like recipe or like a universal recipe that everyone uses, or everybody's got their own?
Yeah, I mean the most commonly used recipe is kind of an old. There's an old makeup artist named Dick Smith. He was very well known for his blood recipe from a long while back, and so a lot of people use that or a variation of it. We do something similar with ours, and um, but it really depends on many things. Like there's thick blood, there's thin blood, there's the blood that you got to pump through things. There's going to be red blood, dark blood, aged blood, sticky blood, gooey blood, scab blood. There's whatever it calls for. We've probably got like 20 different kinds of blood, dependent on what the scene calls for and what the effect is going to be. We've got 20 gallons out here outside my door for the upcoming film, and with another 5 to 10 gallons we got to make, and that's just the base. And then what we're going to do is take that and either thin it down, thicken it up, darken it, do various things to it to make it work for what we're going to need along this film we're going to start filming next week.
Man, I never thought about that.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
it's a lot. I mean, sometimes a lot of indie filmmakers, first time filmmakers, they'll go grab the little spirit Halloween vampire blood thing, and it's very pink and orange, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh, I got cut on my head, and they'll throw it on there, but and they just have like a drip of blood or run down or spattering. But what we do is we'll take 4 or 5 different kinds of blood and make that wound and give it some dimension and some color and some depth, and make it real. So we ask a lot of questions when somebody's like, oh, hey, yeah, they just got hit in the head. Well, okay, by what and how long ago? And, how hard was it? Do you want it dripping down? Do you want the Hollywood version where it's like a little bit of a cut so that their face is still pretty? Or there's a lot that goes into that and a lot of questions before we can even put blood on a person.
I never thought about that because blood dries out pretty quick, and it gets pretty sticky.
It can, and then but we have other options too. Sometimes it needs to come out of wardrobe, so we have some ingredients that go into the blood so that it can be washed out. If it has to come out of the actor's mouth, we have to have mouth safe blood, and different things. There's eye blood. There's things that different kinds of blood for different applications, and um, it's a whole science by itself.
I love it. I love it. I never thought about that. Have a base and then just change it as you go for whatever you need. That's
Yep, yep.
smart. Yeah, and I was just asking because I love you got special effects, and I was like, how do they do that?
Oh yeah, it's a lot. We've got a whole big kit that we can alter our blood, um and yeah, so many different ways to use it.
Awesome, man. And anything in the future for you guys? Anything coming up that you can talk about?
Yeah, we just finished up a film called Diced, and it is a serial killer thing. I play the serial killer in that one as well. Scarecrow killer. That's a lot of fun. It's a big gory slasher. We have 259 we just got wrapped on. It's a demon possession movie written by Cody Newton and Newton Productions, based on a true story. And that one's gonna be a lot of fun. I play the demon in that one, and we also do the special effects and the makeup for that. We're working on a film called Disappointment Girls, formerly Bunnyland. So you heard me in the past talk about Bunnyland. It's now Disappointment Girls. And that one we've been building the effects for the last couple of months, 2 or 3 months, and we start filming in a week. And so that'll be great. We have one called Laugh by Peter Anthony Productions, which is it's less horror, but more of a drama, with a horror element to it, psychological thriller, and that's going to be a lot of fun. It's very well written, and some really cool, very purposeful effects. So Peter's done a good job with that, and we're going to be working on that one out in Connecticut in a few months, and a couple more that are kind of on the hook for the future, but we just gotta see if we can get everything signed and everything. But Yeah, we have a premiere tomorrow for one called Winter Island that we wrapped. It's finally coming out, and Midnight River is one we just finished last month as well. So we've been busy.
Kicking ass, man. Damn.
Yeah.
And where can people find these films when they're out?
They're going to be all over. So most of these are intended to be on like Amazon or other streaming services. Um, you can definitely follow on Instagram or Facebook Real Fiction Studios, and we'll be posting links to all the movies coming out. You can watch our progress along the way, see some of the effects we're doing. Contact us through there. So we try to keep that updated often. We show things that we can along the way. Sometimes, NDAs, or we don't want to give out spoilers if there's certain actors that might die or something. We don't want to give that away until the movie's out. So we have a whole backlog of things that we're dying to share that we can't share yet. But we can show some things along the way and not tell you what it is. But yeah, if you like behind the scenes content, you like special effects, makeup, gore, horror stuff, Real Fiction Studios, go follow us, or go to realfictionstudios.com, and we have all of our links in there too.
Love it, man. Love it. Everybody check them out, realfictionstudios.com. And anything else you'd like to plug, man?
No, I think that's all I got for now. Anything we have there will be up there. Our new makeup line, people have been asking about as well. Naomi and I partnered with Toribel Cosmetics, and we have beauty makeup. Naomi's also a beauty makeup artist, and we have Killing It is the name of the line, and we have our Scream palette. Yeah, a Scream Queen palette with 4 colors in it, and a liquid lip that's this cool purplish color. A little more edgy in the makeup area, and so it's a lot of fun. The packaging is cool. You can find that on our website as well, realfictionstudios.com. More colors coming out in another couple months. So I guess that's something I want to plug. So go check that out. Get it for your ladies, get it for yourself, get whatever. And let us know what you think.
I love it, man. I love it. Like kind of horror themed makeup line,
It is, yeah. All the names of the colors are all horror themed. And yeah, it's fun. Everything we do is going to be kind of horror themed in that makeup line.
Love it, man. And I'd like to thank you very much for coming on the show, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate your time and having me on here.
And keep kicking ass, bro.
Thank you. You too. Appreciate it.
All right, man. You have a good one.
All right, you too.
Peace.